Right, GATE 2022. A rocket operates at an absolute pressure, at an absolute chamber pressure of 20 bar to produce thrust F1. Full stop. The hot exhaust is optimally expanded to 1 bar. Absolute using a CD nozzle with exit to throat area AE by AT of 3.5 and thrust coefficient CF1 equals to 1.42. The same rocket, when operated at an absolute chamber pressure of 50 bar, produces thrust F2 and the thrust coefficient CF2. Which of the following statement in bracket you write as is/R correct? Option A, F2 by F1 equals to 2.5. Option B, F2 by F1 is greater than 2.5. Option C, CF2 by CF1 is 1. Option D, CF2 by CF1 greater than 1. So your first condition is E1 is 20 bars, that is given. CF1 is given as 1.42 and E is equals to 1 bar and it is optimally expanded. Then you have the second condition, P2, that is PC2, 20 bar, 50 bar. PC2 is 50 bar. CF2 we don't know. Okay. So what will be the what is the chamber pressure relation? The same rocket when operated at an absolute chamber pressure produces thrust. What will happen if it is this chamber pressure is increased? So PC2 is greater than PC1 clearly by 30 bar pressure. So this would imply What will happen if we increase the chamber pressure? Exit plane pressure will become greater than the ambient pressure. That effect you will get. Okay. And the exit area to throat area is given as some fixed quantity. So they are not changing the geometry. So this is fixed for both the cases. See, for the condition 1, what will be CM1? First one is optimum expansion. Right? When your chamber pressure is 20 bar, you are having optimum expansion. E is equals to PA. So, for this case, you first write CF. What is CF? F of gamma into under root of 2 gamma by
Gamma minus 1
into 1
bracket
minus
PE by PC, gamma by gamma. Gamma
gamma
minus 1 है gamma.
plus AE by
AE by
8
80,
by 80.
PE by PC minus PA by PC.
very good. That's here pressure thrust and that is a general formula. So here this, let's call this as part 1. Let's call this as part 2. So this is the part 1 of the case 1. This is the part 2 of the case 1. So what do you see from this? P equal to PA means part 2 will become equal to 0 for the case 1. If I write this as CF1. Okay. If I write this whole thing as CF1, this will become PE1. So this will be PE1. Let me copy this. So this all will become PE1, PC1. When you do that, PE1 equals to PA, this part 2 will become 0. That is your CF thrust coefficient equation. Now, for the second case, you will have when PC2 equals to 50 bar. Okay. Your PC2 is greater than PC1. That implies exit plane pressure now will become P2, which will be greater than PA. So let's write the CF equation. For the second condition, let's call this as CF2. What will happen to the part 1? What will be the relation? Let this be called as part 1 for the second condition. And let this be called as part 2 of the second condition. Now, if P2 is greater than PA, what will happen to part 2 for the second case? It will become greater than 0. Whereas, what about part 1 of 2? Will it be more or less? Because these all will become 2, right? PC2. So when the chamber pressure is increasing, what will happen to this quantity?
Less.
Okay, even it may remain the same also, not necessarily that it should become less. Okay, because E2, PE2 is also increasing, right? With increase in PC, PE also increases. So that ratio might remain the same. Okay, may or may not. But still, one thing is sure that CF2, this quantity that you have here and this quantity may become equal, or the second part it might increase because this part might become smaller. So this part 2, part 1 of the second case may be bigger. But one thing is sure, the part 2 of first case was 0 and you are now having extra part. So that will add up to it. Okay. So you can guarantee that. Okay. So you write part 1 for the second case may be greater than or equal to part 1 of the first case, and part 2 for the second case is greater than clearly part 2 of the first case. So what these two collectively implies, CF2 will be becoming greater than CF1. So CF2 by CF1 is greater than 1. One thing is sure. Hope you all noted this, everyone. So we got one option, that option D. Sandeep, you said A and C, right?
Yes, sir.
तो अब D आ गया. अब आगे देखते हैं. Moreover, we know that F2 can be written as PC2AT into CF2, and F1 can be written as PC1AT into CF1. From these two, I can write F2 by F1 equal to PC2 by PC1. AT will get cancelled into CF2 by CF1. What is PC2 by PC1? That is, PC2 is 50, right? And PC1 is 20 into CF2 by CF1, which is a, so this will become 2.5 times of CF2 by CF1. If CF2, since CF2 by CF1 is greater than 1, it would imply F2 by F1 will be greater than 2.5. Hope this is clear to everybody. Okay. So what should be your answer? C and D. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Note it very clearly, guys. It's an important question. Right, next.